The Edmonton Oilers just sent a message to the rest of the National Hockey League. Despite how ugly it gets, they always find a way to win. We'll get into what exactly makes this Oiler team run smooth like a well-oiled machine, no pun intended, as they take on the Vegas Golden Knights in Game 2 of the Western Conference second round. But 78% of you have not yet subscribed to the channel. For any and all Oiler news, if you're loving the videos, make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that button down below and subscribe to the channel. These Oilers, ever since the Game 2 loss to the Los Angeles Kings, they've just been phenomenal from start to finish. Well, last night wasn't exactly, phenomenal from start to finish, but again, these Oilers always finding a way to eke out a greasy veteran win, and we'll get into that right now. A successful road trip, with trip being in quotations, following a very controversial non-call from last night, but the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights, the Oilers looking to go up 2-0 in a series for the first time since Anaheim in 2017, when, our worm Corey Perry was on the opposite side and we hated his guts. But, fast forward to 2025, 8 years later, not so much, and Corey Perry helping the Orioles last night with a 5-4 win in overtime over the Vegas Golden Knights, as the Oilers take a 2-0 series lead there. We'll go into the scoring summary here. In the first period, Victor Olofsson off of a one-timer from Mark Stone, making it 1-0 Vegas on the power play there, and that was the only goal in the first period. But the Oilers opening up their own scoring there with Jake Woolman with a fantastic one-timer there, blasting it by Adin Hill there, and then Vasily Podkolzin 2 points in the second period for him with his first ever Stanley Cup playoff goal here in his career from Victor Arvidsson, who, I wanted him to be out of the lineup, but Victor Arvidsson proving me wrong last night with his play there. And then Darnell Nurse, 2 goals that Adin Hill should have had with Podkolzin in Nurse's shot there in the second period. But I mean, Adin Hill, we didn't get this kind of Adin Hill in 2023, but it's nice to have this 2 years later. And William Karlsson deflecting a Jack Eichel shot there, making it 3-2 before the end of the second period. Flash forward here to the third period, Evander Kane opening up this Oiler lead, but it would soon be dashed as Victor Olofsson, a carbon copy of his first period power play goal, again on the power play there, this time from Jack Eichel instead of Mark Stone, and then Alex Pietrangelo tying up the game before overtime. And overtime, a tale of three pictures here. It was a very eventful 16 minutes. As you can see, Nicholas Waugh cross-checking Trent Frederick in the face there, giving Edmonton a 5-minute power play. They were unable to convert, but Nicholas Waugh was announced today that he will have a hearing with the NHL Department of Player Safety there. So pull out your dartboards, folks, so you don't know what kind of supplementary discipline he is going to get there. Not just that, but there was the missed trip in the successful road trip of the video, the chapter part of the video here, with his missed trip here on Braden McNabb. Now, is it a trip? Absolutely. I mean, should have been called. Ref was standing right there. Do you believe it was Gord Dwyer standing right in front of that? Can't believe it wasn't called. But do I feel bad? Hell no. The amount of missed calls the Oilers have had, not just in the playoffs, but in the regular season against this Vegas Golden Knights team, my sympathy goes completely out the window there. And shortly thereafter, Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel, a battle of the first 2 picks of the 2015 draft, I should say. Connor McDavid undressing him on his way to a 2-on-1 with Leon Draisaitl, and he buries it there. Leon Draisaitl, his 5th of the playoffs from Connor McDavid and Corey Perry. Just a fantastic play all around. Evan Bouchard with the ring around the boards there to Corey Perry, finding Connor McDavid. And Connor McDavid, the McDavid and Draisaitl held off the score sheet for the entirety of regulation there, but the dynamic duo will not be contained, as it was proven last night in overtime, with Leon Draisaitl looked very hurt last night. I mean, it was very obvious that, he's dealing with something there. But first start of the game to our little German superstar there. 28-20 played last night. I mean, the guy is an absolute warrior. And Connor McDavid, I don't want to say he's not happy with the win, but he knows this Oiler team can do so much more. Said it wasn't pretty, not pretty at all. I thought Picks held us in. I mean, fantastic game from Calvin Picker. I'll get to that in a second. We were fortunate to find a way to be up 2 a couple of times there, and obviously we didn't close it out. We found a way, though, and we would have liked to score 1 on the power play there for 5 minutes. Not our group's best, but we found a way. And Knoblauch with the talent that he has, he recognizes though how special these two players are. When you have elite talent, those game breakers, they just need an opportunity to make that play. And you saw it tonight. It was set up. Bouchard makes a nice breakup pass, Perry on the wall, and then those two just take off, and they ultimately made a heck of a play. Not too often they're quiet for an entire game and don't show up on the score sheet. Tonight, when we needed them most, they made a heck of a play there, and the Oilers simply would not be wouldn't have been in this game without their tremendous depth that has just been showing. Each and every single game seems to be building up. You haven't had this deep of an Oiler team in quite some time, if ever. I mean, the amount of secondary scoring the Oilers have been getting, it seems to be a pipe dream, but it is popping up at the right time. There, shots on goal 37-32 in favor of the Oilers. Seems a bit low for a game that went some like 75 minutes there. So yeah, I mean, two teams playing some tight checking hockey there. Face-offs 43-33 in favor of the Golden Knights there. Oilers going 0 for 3 on their power play, one of which was the 5-minute major in overtime, unable to do anything on that. Meanwhile, Vegas capitalizing on half of their chances, going 2 for 4. Both those were the one-timer goals by Victor Olsson there. So the only downside to the Oilers game, not just the top guns not really doing anything in regulation. I mean, that's weird for me to complain about, right? But I mean, it's not too often you see McDavid and Draisaitl play that poor of a game for the 60 minutes, especially when you consider what's on the line here, going up 2-0, going back to Edmonton, or letting Vegas get back into the series and splitting it before going back to Rogers Place there. But again, they got the job done when necessary. And the Oilers PK still on an adventure. I mean, I thought they were going on the up and up since the LA series, but against Vegas, who just seems to throw the puck around, tape to tape, puck is on a string, they are making the Oilers pay there. So the PK, I don't know if they're trying to get practice in a real game situation by taking stupid penalties, but here we are. There's still lots of time to improve, but there's also lots of time for the PK to get worse. So we will have to see if the Oilers make any adjustments on that front there. Just taking a look at the stats. Victor Arvidsson at the top there. I mean, the guy is making me eat my words ever since I wanted him replaced for Jeff Skinner. But you can see Arvidsson, Nugent-Hopkins, Podkolzin. I mean, that fourth line of Janmark, Podkolzin, and Arvidsson was easily Edmonton's best line last night. Again, lots of bodies being thrown here by the Oilers, lots of block shots. So a complete team effort in a game that absolutely needed a complete team effort. It wasn't just a two-man operation like the Oilers have done in prior years. So always impressive for this Oiler team. I mean, lots of quiet games on that front, but nothing that stood out to me in a very negative way there. As you can see, the hockey stat chart here. I mean, Brett Kulak, you either get one opposite game from him or the other in terms of good or bad. I mean, I didn't think he had that poor of a game last night, but not as steady as you would expected him to have been ever since the LA series. I thought he was great in the LA series, but the hockey stats right here, the analytics doesn't exactly agree with me there. And again, Darnell Nurse, you take the good with the bad with Darnell Nurse. Of course, he scored last night, but again, lots of adventures he is taking. But again, just a complete team effort, and that is what you were seeing off this graph here. Of sure, the team defense, the hockey stat chart here, not exactly friendly to most of the Oilers there, but again, Cal Pickard held this team in, and that is exactly what you needed from your new starting goaltender there. 875 again, like I said last video, not the sexiest stat line, but hey, I mean, Grant Fuhr didn't have the best save percentages either too, and he managed to get these Oilers some clutch wins there. I do believe Aiden Hill had some like an 862, so Cal Pickard outplaying Aiden Hill for a second consecutive game there. And from Connor McDavid, not just Cal Pickard, but the rest of the team says that takes everybody. We know that, everyone knows that, and it takes everyone up and down the lineup, and we're getting help all over. That Janmark line has been really good since they've been together. I guess you could call them the fourth line, but they're hardly the fourth line. They're playing great. Same with that Nuge line, with Hyman and Evander Kane and Adam Henrique's line too. So we're getting help all over. The back end scored a couple, and picks was great there. Just taking a look at some more analytics here from all four lines here. Like I mentioned, the Arvidsson, Janmark, Podkolzin line only on the ice for 5.5 minutes, but some stellar numbers from your supposed fourth line, which is supposed to be a minutes munching, line, so to speak. but on the ice for 2 goals for there and not leaking anything negative there. Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins, Evander Kane, the analytics aren't exactly their friend, but again, that's an energetic line, something you absolutely need deeper you get into the Stanley Cup playoffs. With Evander Kane still on his heater there, throwing the body, scoring a goal last night. What can't the man do? And then McDavid, Draisaitl, Corey Perry. Again, not the flashiest numbers there. Yeah, you could tell McDavid and Draisaitl were off there, and then Trent Frederick getting better each and every game with Adam Henrique and Connor Brown. I also thought, not Connor Brown, Adam Henrique had a very quiet game last night, but again, nothing too drastic on that front there. So the Oilers, again, top to bottom, a very scary looking team, even when they look like they all are having an off night against the Vegas Golden Knights. When you can still have an off night and get the win against a dangerous and deep Vegas team, I mean, you have to look out. The rest of the league has to look out. I know the national media, the rest of the fan bases are writing us off because, oh, Cal Pickard's in net. He can't do anything, exciting or monumental. I mean, when's the last time you saw a backup take his, team to the Stanley Cup final? Oh, right, Aiden Hale at the opposite end of the crease, Just because he's not a name value goalie doesn't mean he can't bring the Oilers to the promised land. He keeps this team in a position to fight every single game. Even though he gave up 4, I still thought he had a stellar game. Sure, he gives up some weak ones, but again, 2 goals were Victor Olofsson one-timers that, you really can't stop. One was a deflection and one was just a screen shot from the point there from Pietrangelo. So, still, solid game from Cal Pickard, and again, the whole team just looked off, but still, when you find a way to win, folks, this is a team of destiny there. And the Oilers goals for versus against their 5-on-5 this postseason, 7 goals for, and 4 goals against, I should say, with McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice, and without 14 in 8 there. I mean, last year, the Oilers only got 12 goals, I do believe, without McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice, and they played something like, almost 25, 26 games, and now we are only 8 games in to this Oilers playoff run and 14 goals without McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice. Folks, if that's not depth, I'm not too sure what is. We were all, again, being negative, halfway through the season, saying, oh, this team's not the same as last year. Last year was better, but, you didn't see anything like this from the Oilers last year. But again, they've learned what it takes to win the Stanley Cup, and again, it's not just a one-line operation anymore. It takes a complete team effort, and these Oilers are realizing that against the top talent in the National Hockey League, and they will need to have more of that as they're dragging them back to Alberta up 2-0 in the series against these Vegas Golden Knights. But McDavid realizes, these first 2 games in Vegas, even though they were both wins, if it's not, if there's no win in Game 3, if the Oilers do not come out and say, balls to the wall, pardon my French, in Game 3, it was all for nothing. We come from behind lots. We obviously gave up a lead today. We've won overtime games. We won in different ways. You got to do that this time of year. We're just building our game. I feel like our best is still coming. If you're hearing that from your captain, that makes me want to run through a wall, folks. And I'd hope to see it at home here. It means nothing if we're not ready to roll for Game 3. And the Oilers tying an NHL playoff record. 6 comeback wins, tied for the most in a single postseason in the last 30 years. Hopefully they can come out, guns a-blazing in Game 3 and hopefully get the first goal of the game against Vegas on Saturday. But, some more impressive stats here. The Oilers in the third period and overtime over the last 6 games. 15 in 3 goals, 4 in goals against their shot differential of plus 28, a save percentage from Cal Pickard of .954 in 65 hits. So when the deeper the game gets, the better these Oilers get. In Saturday, May 10th, Golden Knights Oilers, 8 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Mountain. A bit of an earlier one tomorrow night, which will be fantastic. Saturday, the weather's fantastic. Watch the game outside. Who knows? Do what you want to do. But these Oilers and the Golden Knights at the supposed Terror Dome is what apparently they're calling Rogers Place now, which sounds a bit shoehorned, but hey, it kind of works. But Oilers Knights should be, again, a very exciting one. We will preview that one for you tomorrow in a very pivotal, I don't want to say do or die, but make or break situation for both teams. The Oilers' opportunity to go up 3-0. If the Vegas Golden Knights certainly don't want to go down 3-0. And folks, that is it for today's video. Oh, also, make sure to hug your goalie. But that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about last night's game, and do you think these Oilers will go up 3-0? I'm very curious to see what your outlook on these Edmonton Oilers are. Again, wasn't the flashiest of wins last night, but they don't ask how, they just ask how many. Let's go Oilers. Have a great rest of your Friday, folks, and enjoy your weekend. Take care. I'm Matt.